Hey, welcome. I'm back, and we are going to start working on the grass. We're on page 9 under Drawing the Grass, and it says, and again, we're in the textbook Exploring Adobe Illustrator CS6, CC. Tony Toland and Nessa Hartman are the authors, and we're on page 9, Drawing the Grass. And we're going to click in the leftmost column next to the grass guide. And we want to then highlight the draw grass layer. What the heck? Highlight the draw grass layer, and then this layer will contain our final drawing of the grass. And these are the little icons, or the points by which we're going to draw the grass to. So a series of numbered dots appear on the document, strategically placed over the grass drawn in the sketch. And we're going to create the logo as if we were drawing an image in a Connect the Dots activity book. So we're going to click the Fill Color box at the bottom of the Tools panel. So we're setting our color. In the Swatches panel, we're going to choose, and if it's not still open, like mine isn't, we can go under Window and bring Swatches up. Oh, it's right in front of my face. Sorry, guys, it's right here. We're going to choose the lime green color swatch. And the stroke color should still be set to none. So we have a lime green fill, and the stroke color is at none. We're going to select the pen tool in the Tools panel. You see that we have the pen tool. And then we're going to position the pen tool on point 1 on the document and click once. And just click once. Then we're going to click on point 2 to create a straight path. And you can hold down your Shift key if you want to make sure that it's absolutely straight. And then we're going to continue to hold the Shift key, and we're going to click on points 3 and points 4. And then we're going to turn to page 10. And this step is a little tricky. At point 5, we're going to click and hold the mouse button down and drag the pen tool to the right. So we're going to move our pen tool over here. We're going to click, don't release, and then drag to see we're creating handles here that identify the curvature as well as the direction of the next anchor point. Dragging when placing this point creates the curve to form the rounded grass shape. Now we're going to close out that shape by clicking on point 1 again. And Illustrator will use this forward leading handle, the one that I've just shown you right here, to direct the curved shape automatically. There we go. You now have a completed grass shape, and again, that's very important that you click where I'm going to back up just a moment so you can see that. You see that where that little O at the bottom right hand corner of my pen, there is 0. You want to make sure that you see that before you click, because that indicates that we're closing out that shape, which is exactly what we want to do. And we've now completed the grass shape. Don't worry if the edges aren't perfect. You'll get more practice as you learn Illustrator. So now we're going to hide the grass guide and draw grass. And then we're going to do a Command or Control S to save the file. Now we're going to unhide the tulips guide. To see what dots will guide us during our next drawing. And we're going to click on the Draw Tulips layer. And this is the layer that we're going to draw on. We're going to click the Fill Color box. in the Tools panel to bring it forward if it's not forward already. Mine is. And then in the Swatches panel, we're going to select the purple swatch. So we're going to go back over to our Swatches panel, choose the purple one. And normally if you just move your cursor over this, it will show you or give you a tool tip as to the color. I guess it's not going to do it today, but normally it would do that. And you want to make sure that the stroke color in the Tools panel is blank, which is it is, or set to none. Now again with the pen tool, we're going to start to connect the dots by clicking on points 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're just going to, and not click and hold or click and drag, you're just going to click and drop. And then we're going to come down to 2, click and drop. Going to come over to 3, click and drop. Down to 4, click and drop. And then at point 5, we are going to click and hold and drag. So we're going to come over here to point 5. We're going to click, hold, and I'm dragging to the left to create the curve at the bottom of the tulip. This is the same motion we used to create the grass, just in the opposite direction. Now we're going to click and not drag on point 6. I'm going to have to drag this so it automatically curves it. And then we're going to close and then continue to click on the rest of the points. And then we're going to close out the shape by clicking on point 1 again. I think I must have clicked on it and went right on by it. So remember, if we make a mistake, Edit Undo is always there for you. You know that I'm going to undo that just so you can see how we did that. Well, you know what it was? I started at point 2 instead of point 1. Well, that was dumb. So you're going to start at point 1. And we're going to come down here, point 2, 3, 4. And remember, we got over to 5 and we clicked and drug to get that nice curvature. Click on point 6. We don't have to click and drag because it's already got that nice curve going on. Click on point 7, 8, and then back on 1 to close that out. And see, there's that little circle in the lower right hand corner again. And that closes out that shape. Okay, so now remember, if we make a mistake, and I just did, so you saw what I did a Command Z, or you can go to Edit Undo and do the same thing to back up steps in order to redo them if you choose to. Now we're going to get the Selection tool, which is the black tool, and we're going to click on the tulip to highlight it, and then we're going to go up under Edit, and we're going to go down to Copy, and then we're going to go up to Edit, and we're going to go to Paste, and now that creates the second tulip. So we're going to select the Scale tool, and you see here it is, it's almost right in the right place. We're going to get the Scale tool on the Tools panel, and then from the lower right, we're going to click and drag slowly up to the left to resize the tulip. If you don't get it right the first time, you can continue to click and drag until you're satisfied. I'm going to hold down my Shift because I want it to scale in proportion. It looks just about right. So again, we're going to get the Selection tool, the black Selection tool, and we're going to click and drag it to position it under where that other little tulip icon is. And I see it's just a little bit larger than I want it, so I'm going to hold down my Shift. I'm going to click and drag to make it just a little bit smaller and reposition it again where the tulips go. All right, good. All right, now we're going to hide the tulip guide and the tulip layer, and then we're going to do a Command S. So we're going to hide this, and we're going to hide this guide. And then we're going to do a Command or Control S to save our work. All right, I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to draw the stems and leaves, and then I'm going to leave you to, or I'm going to draw one of the stems and leaves. And since I've given you kind of a brief tour around, and you know where the major functions are, the toolbox, this is the layers, the swatches panel, you'll know where the menu items are so that you can navigate your way through to finish out the exercise. But again, first I think I'll show you the stems and leaves guide. And then we're going to highlight the Draw Stems and Leaves, or Draw Stems and Leaves layer. And we are going to again go to the Color panel. And we're going to make sure that our fill color is at the foreground. And this one we want to set the fill color to none. And then we want to bring the stroke color to the foreground and create a darker green stroke. We're going to select the Line tool from the Tools panel. What? That's not the Perspective Grid tool, that's a Line tool. All right. And then we're going to use Window and Stroke to open the Stroke panel. And we're going to set the stroke to 7 points. And then we're going to click and drag from the bottom of the tulip to the bottom of the grass, creating a tall, thin line for each tulip's stem. So we're just going to click and drag right here. Make sure you hold down Shift to get it nice and straight. There's one. Hold down the Shift key to keep that nice and straight, and there's the second stem. Then we're going to click and hold the Rectangle tool. That is, if I can find the Rectangle tool, I know it's, oh, here's the star. It's under the Star tool. To find the Ellipse tool, we're going to select the Ellipse tool. And then we're going to draw the leaves. First draw a tall, thin oval. So we're going to do a tall, thin oval, about like that. And we're going to click and hold on the Pen tool on the Tools panel to select the Convert Anchor Point tool. So you're going to go back in here, find the Anchor Point tool, which is the Convert Anchor Point. And then we're going to click once on the bottom point of the ellipse, which would be right here. And you see what a nice point that creates. And what it does is it converts this rounded anchor point to a corner anchor point, as you see there. And then we're going to click once on the top point as well. The Convert Anchor Point tool changes the curve points to corner points by deleting the direction handles. And then with the Selection tool, we are going to click on the leaf to select it entirely, which I already selected. And then we're going to select the Rotate tool, which is right here. I'm sure why my tooltips aren't coming up, but there's the Rotate tool. And then to adjust the angle of the leaf, we're going to click and drag counterclockwise from the top point. Oh, I'm going to undo this because one thing I've noticed is I didn't have the whole thing selected. So now I've got the whole thing selected, got the Rotate tool. I'm going to click and drag counterclockwise from the top point. There we go. And you'll see what those angles are. They're just about like that. And then using the selection tool, we're going to adjust its position to match the scan, which would be probably, oh, not quite. We can do that again. And there we go. While the leaf is still selected or highlighted, we're going to go to Edit and Copy and Edit and Paste. So we're going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, and Paste. To make a second leaf, we're going to keep this new highlighted leaf, highlighted and select the Reflect tool. We're going to go back over here to Rotate, click and hold, find the Reflect tool. And then we're going to hold down the Option if you're on a Mac, Alt if you're on a Windows, and click once to approximately in the middle of the tulip stem. To position it next to the second stem. We're going to use the Scale tool to adjust its size. And we're going to click and drag this over here because I think I might want to change the, I want to change the rotation just slightly. I probably want it just a little bit smaller as well. All right, we're going to do the same thing with this one. And I am going to have you finish up this exercise on your own. If you find that you need another brief demo, please be sure to email or text or instant message me, and I'll be happy to do that. And we'll see you Monday night for our meeting.